The NFL finally gives the Pittsburgh Steelers something worth having. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive in here on a Thursday. Again, I welcome you all back to the show. The Pittsburgh Steelers finally getting something from the NFL that means something. That's really cool. And that is going to be something really cool for the fan base, for the organization, for the city economically. And it's really going to boost this city in 2026, and that is the NFL draft. How cool is that if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan to finally get to see one of the marquee important events of the NFL calendar now being held in Pittsburgh? Not that the Steelers, haven't had marquee events, but they've gotten themselves to that place. AFC championship games, playoff games, etc. But nothing in terms of, these scheduled events that, aren't football and, aren't football being played. The Steelers have never gotten anything like that before. Now you see the Pittsburgh Steelers finally, after all the hard work from Art Rooney, from the franchise over a couple year time frame here, to where it's all paid off. And the Pittsburgh Steelers will now host the draft here in 2026. And if you're a Steelers fan like me, man, you got to be pumped. You got to be fired up for this, because I am. I think it's going to be an absolutely monumental event. I think it's going to help the city in ways that I don't even think we yet understand. I think that it is going to be something so special that many are going to be talking about it for decades, man, because of how many people I think are going to come there. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers are such a worldwide, global franchise, global brand, you are going to have people flying into that monster airport in Pittsburgh, that many $1 billion worth of airport. They're going to be flying in there in droves, and you are going to have so many people. When you saw what happened in Detroit this year with the amount of people that showed up for that draft and what a show Detroit put on, couldn't have happened to a better place in Detroit, a city that has struggled over the years. But you look at how they handled that draft, and there had to have been, a lot of people, I don't know the numbers, maybe like 700,000 people there through that draft. You're going to look at Pittsburgh and probably break those numbers, in my opinion, because of Steeler Nation being such a global thing, Steeler Nation being worldwide. You have people that love this team from all over the world, many different continents, people that talk about this team every day from different countries. It's just such a global brand that it's really wise for the NFL to do something like this, because this is going to put the NFL on the map. Well, as if it already isn't, but really give the NFL another boost, and it's kind of crazy to me to see that it's never happened, and you've never had anything crazy like this happen to the Steelers and to the city of Pittsburgh. You had the G20, I believe, summit. I think that's what it was called, G20. But you saw that. That was a global event, but Pittsburgh handled it really, really well. And this event is also going to trickle down to the outskirts of Pittsburgh also. The cities surrounding Pittsburgh are going to benefit greatly from this. Hotel rooms, because people sometimes, hey, I don't want to stay right inside all the action. I want to stay a little bit out so I can, have a little free reign when I'm not at the draft, and a little bit of liberty to move around. People value their space. So again, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the draft, what an amazing thing. And I can guarantee you this, here at Mike Drop Sports, we will be there one way or another. I will brave the traffic. I will brave the massive amounts of people, and I will be down there. I will be doing content. I will be doing everything that I can possibly do to ensure that you guys get the best content at that time. So make sure, I know it's about a little under 2 years away. So just make sure that you're tuned in, because, man, it's going to be cool. But right now, let's talk about the right now, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers as a whole as they continue to move through OTAs. And I really have high hopes for this team. Yesterday, we talked about it on the live show with Noah, talking about how everything was, coming together. There's some exciting, position groups that really are intriguing, and some that people are worried about. And I want to start with that offensive line, because I think the offensive line is going to be special, man. And I want you guys to just have some patience. I know we saw Dan Moore Jr. on the left tackle spot to start off the day. I know we saw Nate Herbig taking the center snaps right away. You know, those types of things. Rest assured, that's not going to happen. You're not going to see Dan Moore, in my opinion, as the starter. I think Broderick Jones will be the starter. I think Troy Faetanu will be a starter also. I don't know which side. Who cares? But in reality, I think you'll see all the young guys. We know Zach Frazier will be the guy, the WVU Big 12 product. I think the best center in the draft will be taking the snaps in 2024 for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, giving the snaps to one Russell Wilson. Which leads me into that conversation with the quarterbacks. I think Russell Wilson will kick off the season. I think the Steelers have to win ball games at the beginning of the year, and it's not going to be wise to roll with a young Justin Fields and try to develop him during that time, because you really can't have any stumbles. You really can't afford to take and lose any of those games that you shouldn't lose. You have to really come out of that front half with a winning record. So that offense, I think, is going to be okay, but I think the wide receiver room will still get some attention here before training camp kicks off. I think Omar Khan here, once we get into June, toward July timeframe, you will see a monumental move made by Omar Khan. One of the ones that you could look back on after next season if the Steelers are successful and say to yourself, that really changed the trajectory of this season and this offense. I think that's what kind of move we're going to see here with the Steelers and Omar Khan, Andy Weidel, Mike Tomlin. But that moves me over to the defensive side of the football. I want you guys to also be patient with this cornerback room. There's a lot of young guys, man. A lot of young guys. And I think getting them as many reps as humanly possible is going to be a good thing, and I think letting them mix it up and play and move around and allow a guy like a veteran like Dante Jackson to be the running mate of Joey Porter Jr. and allow the other young guys to just find their footing and find a role and carve out a niche for themselves on this football team, I think is the way to go right now. And if you're able to add a veteran presence throughout the offseason here as we get toward training camp, then so be it. That's cool too. Add that. But I think you have a bona fide star in Joey Porter Jr. and that things are going to continue to rise for him, and his stock is only going to keep getting higher, man. And I definitely think this cornerback room will be okay. And I don't want you guys to continue to panic about that. And as the roster continues to develop, keep an eye on that tight end room too, guys. You saw Pat Freiermuth be really instrumental in the beginning stages of an Arthur Smith offense. And I think you're going to continue to see that. And I think the growth of that room, the growth of their role inside of this offense is going to be one that proves to be very special for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. And I think it's going to be something that really drives this football team and is a real leaning point. That Russell Wilson will be able to lean on that room for a lot of get out of jail type cards. You know, hey man, we're in trouble. It's 3rd and 5. You know, we haven't been moving the football really well. Where are you going? You're going to that tight end room. You know, hey, we need a big play. It's 2nd and 10, 2nd and 15. We need a big play here. Who do you go to? Let's go to that tight end room. Why? Because I think they're going to be really instrumental, and I think that they're going to have a significant role here on this football team. So let's start wrapping this show up here, guys, here on a Thursday, the daily upload here on Mike Drop Sports. Such an exciting time to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Like I said, the draft, OTAs, and you have a football team that has real hope, that has a real sense of drive to it, one that we can really get behind. And I think that that's something we've been missing here for a little bit in the city. I think it's something that we've been lacking a little bit, that real optimism of saying, man, I think this football team could be something. And now I think we really can say that. I think this football team can be something. I think this football team has the potential to do some big things in 2024 if everything goes right. Yes, disaster can strike, guys. I could be dead wrong. But right now, looking at this football team and looking how it's going and looking how everything is unfolding through this offseason, I have some extremely high hopes. And be excited. Enjoy this offseason, man. Don't dwell on the shit, man. Don't sit there and be like, well, they need this, they need that, they got to do this. let's not do that as much. We can talk about it, but let's be as positive as we possibly can and enjoy this moment because these moments aren't, they don't come around every year. So let's enjoy this moment and really get behind the optimism of this football team, at least the optimism that most people have, most fans have. So let's continue to do that and let's continue to have awesome shows here on Mic Drop Sports. Don't forget tonight, live for Steel City Live, the show that we do every day here on the channel. I will announce the time here on the community section once I get a hold of Sean. We'll see how that goes, what time we'll start. But make sure you are subscribed. Make sure the notification bell is on. That way you won't miss what time we start tonight, because when we have Sean on, there's such a time difference. We have a little bit of a lapse. So make sure you do that, and look forward to special guests. I got some more I'm working on. We had Noah last night from All Steelers Talk, and I think we've got a couple more that are about to come down the pipe that are going to be really, really awesome, just like Noah was yesterday. And May 29th, I'm going to go over to Steelers Nation, Australia at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk Steelers with him, with Mark. So make sure you stay tuned in, guys. Things are going to continue to go. Our giveaway is June 14th, and things are just going to continue to get better and better, man. So thank you again for joining us here on Mic Drop Sports. I'm Jason. Until tonight, peace.